Yo, oh, what it look like? I am Jason Eubanks, joined by,
Kyler Adams.
and we're back for episode 6 of Hit It Harder Bowling Talk. Plenty of topics to talk about today. Kyler, what do you got? Let's start off with some PWBA. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
The inaugural Barbara Christman tournament.
Yep.
Jordan Snodgrass won that one.
Okay.
I don't know anything other than the fact that she won. So congrats to her.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
And I believe as of right now, when we're recording this, she's leading qualifying for the Women's U.S. Open.
Okay. Okay.
So
So you probably have the results by the time you guys are watching this. So
you probably know who won the tournament.
right. Exactly. I mean, it's like we know, but we're recording now, so whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
Along that, I haven't seen any of the qualifying, but first thing that's going around on social media is pattern number 3 for the tournament.
Yeah, for the Women's U.S.
Like,
Open.
what is it, 58 feet
58 feet.
in length, right? So explain to us how this oil works. What is the buff versus the drop? I can't read a lane graph, so help me understand.
I'm by no means a professional. I know just enough to get by.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the trusty phone here.
Okay.
Look at this graph so I can try to explain it. So we have, I'll read the 8 points at the top here real quick. So distance, 58 feet ratio, 2.07 to 1, so relatively flat.
Okay.
We've got 28 feet for the drop brush. We have fire and infinity oil, which I can honestly say I don't know what infinity oil is.
Okay. Some new stuff.
Volume, 28.75 mils, so about 29 mils.
Okay.
Forward oil is 10 milliliters. Reverse oil, 18.25 milliliters of reverse oil, and then pump 50 units. So basically what this says, they got 28 feet of oil.
28 feet. Okay.
And then that's where their drop brush goes to. It's 28 feet. And it's pretty much buff from there. So 30 feet of buff.
So they're buffing, so they strip, right?
Yeah.
So strip and buffing the oil from where it stopped, or where does the extra, what is it buffing?
So what the buff is it's where the machine is no longer actually applying oil to the lane, but it's what's using that is already in the brush and what is already applied to the lane, and it is buffing it down the lane. So it's not actually applying oil in that spot. It's just buffing what's left in the brushes down the lane.
So like almost like squeezing a sponge, and then once the sponge is empty, you keep using that same sponge to...
I would think of it like that. You ever waxed a car before? I'm sure you've seen people wax a car before, right?
Yeah.
So if you use a polisher and you put some wax on the polisher pad, you put it on there, in that first area you put that on there, there's going to be a lot of wax.
Right.
Or a lot of polish or whatever, right? Now, there's only going to be a lot of polish in approximately, this little area, little area that you first put it on.
Right.
From there, you buff it out to maybe like a 2 foot by 2 foot area. So that first little corner that you did is going to have a lot, but then you buff it and spread it across the rest of it. So they're applying oil to the first 28 feet of the lane, but then they're just kind of spreading the oil that they already applied, and what's left in that brush, the brush, you got to think of it as like your polisher pad when you're waxing the car, they're spreading the rest of it down the lane. So it's not a lot of oil that they're putting down the lane.
Okay. But it's just whatever's attached to it.
Right. Yeah. Whatever residuals in the brush is basically just getting buffed down the lane.
Okay.
The other thing you got to look at was the oil. Was the reverse oil versus the forward oil.
Yeah.
Your forward oil, as it gets applied, it's as the machine's moving forward, and the brush applies it going down the lane.
Right.
That oil now may not affect your ball motion much, but it will speed your ball up slightly, because the oil is pointing down the lane.
The direction of
the direction of the machine will tell you the direction the ball is going to want to go with that oil.
Okay.
So they have 10 milliliters of the almost 29 milliliters. 10 of it is forward, and 18 is reverse. So, or 10 and a half is forward, and 18 and a quarter is reverse.
So it's slowing it down in that.
So in that first 28 feet,
Yeah.
it's still oil. Your ball's still going to try to get through it. But you got to think of it almost like a wave. Think of it like a wave, right? The wave comes at forward oil. The wave's going this way. So it's your ball's going down across the back of the wave. Now, if it's coming this way and your ball's trying to go into a wave, it's going to slow down every time it hits a new wave.
Right.
So you got to think of it like that. So that reverse oil is kind of slowing the ball down. So even though it's 58 feet, chances are the pattern probably hooks way more than what you would think when you see 58 feet.
Because it's not true oil to the head pin. It's just
right.
So
they're going to be able to carve out where they want the ball to hook.
Okay.
Is what's probably going to happen.
My question is, that's where physics gets involved, right? So things react differently with heat.
Yes.
So if it's the same machine that's taking the same oil and the same buff, if it's not applying, it's buffing. So first lane is the coldest those brushes ever be, right? As you go to each lane, that buffing brush or whatever it is going to be hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, right? Mm-hmm. So you ever polish a ball and you just sit on it for a minute and then till the rag like starts smoking,
it's hot.
It gets really hot. How long does that take to cool down? So if you're buffing, like how consistent can that possibly be? Or is it they have technology in this oil machine to
I don't know
regulate that or what?
I don't know about the technology, but I would guess as the oil in the tank is then like sprayed onto the lane and onto the brush,
cools it down.
I would guess that it cools it down. Obviously, it's still going to heat up some as it keeps going. Just the machine in general is going to create heat.
Right.
Typically, when you apply heat to oil, it becomes
evaporates.
Oil doesn't evaporate.
No, you're right.
But it becomes thinner.
Yeah.
Or,
viscosity.
The viscosity changes. Yeah. It becomes thinner. It becomes.
Look that up, kids. Viscosity, word of the day.
Yeah.
Viscous.
Vocab lesson.
Pour water on the counter and then pour oil on the counter. Ask your parents, get permission.
I mean,
and then kind of see what it does.
Easiest way that I could show this to somebody is if you like took a plate, and you have warm maple syrup, you have cold maple syrup, and you put a drop of each on the plate. The warm maple syrup is going to run down the plate way faster than the cold stuff is.
Like door closers, huh?
Yeah, like door closers. Yeah.
Hydraulic fluid inside.
Right. Yeah, they heat up, they slam, and they cool down. They close really slow.
Got you.
Yeah. But yeah, so that changes how the oil, on the lane. I don't know the difference, I guess, like on a scientific side of things of like if you apply hot oil to the lane versus if you're applying a cold oil to the lane, if that changes how it like sets on the lane. I would assume the hotter oil as it gets applied is going to flatten out faster.
Flatten out quicker.
Which I would think would make the pattern play a little bit more difficult and probably make the pattern hook more.
But then the transition just becomes nasty because like every tournament, you ever bowl a tournament and it's totally different the next day versus qualifying, but it was supposedly the same pattern?
Yeah.
Because they oil this 30 minutes before the pattern starts, right? Or the tournament starts. And then at the end of the day, they oil for the next day, let it sit overnight.
Right.
Plays completely different because it's been sitting for a minute.
Yeah, which they shouldn't do that. You should not oil the night before ever for a tournament.
Right.
I would say, obviously, in that scenario, that's going to make it play way different. Yeah. But I would say the biggest thing for why the pattern plays more and more difficult throughout a tournament or totally different from when it starts is the more times you strip the lane and relay that pattern, the less memory from the house shot or whatever it was beforehand is going to be on that lane. No matter how much if you've ever spilled oil on anything ever, you know that if you try to just, wipe it off of there and use a little bit of, whatever it is to try to clean it up, there's always a little bit left behind. Yeah. And then you got to do it again and you got to do it again. And, it usually takes 3-4 times before you actually get the oil off. It's the same thing when they strip a lane. If they just do a single pass strip, it's not all gone. There's still a little bit of oil there.
Yeah.
Now, the newer machines have done a lot. They've gotten a lot better at being able to get that oil off the lane. It's pretty crazy what they can do in a well-maintained machine. Blair, how insane it can actually get the oil off the lane, but not very well-maintained machine. Blair, they don't get the oil off the lane very well.
No.
And you get memory left over which is basically a very small amount of residual oil from the pattern that was already laid down.
Out there, yeah.
Now you're putting new oil on top of it. Well, if the old pattern was 44 feet, and the new pattern is, say, 40 feet, we'll say 40 feet. Well, now you have 4 additional feet of like this residual
sludge.
Little bit of oil that's down lane.
Yeah.
So on, say, we'll make this easy, 16-lane center, 8 lanes get a house shot.
Yeah.
The other 8 lanes haven't been oiled in 2 weeks because it's their open play.
Right.
The open play lanes probably get a lot of carry down, so there's going to be a lot of weird, oily, goofy spots down lane where the lanes that get oiled for the house shot, the 8 lanes that get oiled for the house shot, they're going to have a little bit more of a shape, but as you strip that off, there's still going to be like residual shape there.
Right.
So you lay a pattern down. I bet you on that pattern, those first 8 lanes that get oiled regularly for a house shot probably score way higher than the 8 lanes that don't hardly ever get oiled, and then you just lay this pattern down, and God only knows what you're getting into.
Yeah, I bowled league on a house like that. It was like 24 lanes though, but 1 through 4, we called it the party pairs.
Yeah,
because they can oil. It didn't matter. You were on the island by yourself during the league. You didn't get in side pots. You didn't get in brackets that night. It's like, so you really just focus on the person you're on the pair with because you got no shot against what anybody else in the league is shooting. It's just nastiness. But, okay, so that kind of helps me understand the lane graph. So what is it with the USBC or the PBA and women? I feel like not like that. Meaning like
lawsuit. No, I'm just kidding.
Meaning I think the women have bowled on some of the most ridiculous, just nasty of conditions that men would never have to bowl on. Like, it's like they're challenging the women more than the men. Like, that is insane to me.
And not to, like, the men would complain so much.
Right.
What is this? What are we bowling on? Like, it would be, like, it would just be nothing but, like, complaints from them.
Crybabies, yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, because they had the 2026 PWBA Lilac City Open pattern.
Yeah.
Which we'll throw a picture up somewhere of the pattern graph. It's basically, they took a pattern and they just flipped it upside down and said, good luck.
Figure it out.
Yeah. We got 42 feet, 2.08 to 1. So similar ratio as the 58-foot pattern.
Yeah.
But 35 feet drop brush on a 42-foot pattern. So you get 7 feet of buff, which isn't anything too crazy. 28.5 milliliters of oil, 20 milliliters of forward oil on this one.
Yeah.
And then 7.8 milliliters of reverse. So on this pattern, the ball is going to want to speed up going down lane a lot more than it's going to want to slow down.
Right.
Where on that other pattern, 58 feet, they're trying to slow the ball down, with how it's applied. But the pattern is wider at the end of the pattern. The oil is applied wider at the end of the pattern, and then it gets skinnier as it comes towards the foul line.
Right.
Which is kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
That they would do that. But
that's even go back to the Reno Dirt Bowl. You remember that? The Dust Bowl? Where they bowled outside?
Was that was it the TV show that they had it in like in an arena? But it was like an outdoor stadium, like arena?
No, it was in the street.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. You didn't see that? No, no.
Kids, everyone, if you've never seen that, Google like Reno Dust Bowl. So you've been to Reno, right?
I have now,
You just came back from Reno.
Yep.
So I think it was under the Reno sign. They've set up a pair of lanes outside. So it's not arena, no wind barricade, I don't think, nothing. Like wind came and they were struggling. Like 130 was winning matches. Like it was the nasty. I think they try to sweep that underneath the rug, but
the new Kegel oil would be the dust oil.
Yeah, they qualified like in the stadium, and then the TVs was literally outside. I can understand arena, a control, Magic Mountain, how they did something, but no, this is literally just in the middle of the street. It was the nastiest. Yeah, you gotta look that up on YouTube.
I'm
gonna
have to watch that for sure.
That show.
That sounds awesome.
I felt so bad, like. You just couldn't feel bad. I mean, you could see the frustration on their faces. You average 220, 230 to make the show, and then you can barely crack $140 because it's just that oil evaporated so quick.
I mean, it probably wasn't evaporated. It's probably just dust
just
particles
dust
and everything
on it.
just getting in it and then just turning it into muck.
Yeah, it was literally like just...
It just turns into like mud.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it was just disgusting.
You got a visual representation of that on that show.
Oh.
Like it was that bad. I felt so bad.
My. I mean,
it was probably like 15 years ago maybe, but it was nasty.
I mean, I would just hard at the head pin. That's what I would be doing. I could probably shoot 160 hard at the head pin.
I think it was maybe Missy. I think Missy made the show. Kelly Kulick. I can't remember, but
I'll have to.
You'll know it when you see it.
I'll have to look it up. That's.
I think it's literally called the Dust Bowl, like Reno Dust Bowl.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that now.
Yeah.
And no, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
I'm definitely watching that.
And that's what made me say this is like, dude, the women have just been put through. I mean, they still score.
Yeah.
They find a way, technically sound. You can't just do whatever you want to do, you know?
Right.
But it's just kind of backwards. If the men represents the pinnacle and the highest of the sport, why aren't they getting this challenge? Like, what is this? Just looks hard to us because we're not out there. And it's really softer with the men, but visually it looks like, well, what is this? Like, how do you even play this, you know?
Yeah.
I know the men had the Tetris-looking patterns and stuff, but...
Yeah, but still, those patterns, as they break down, you know, they still become, like, they're able to blend those out into, like, a shape, right? And then you can figure it out from there. It's like the first game or two might be a problem, but they'll figure it out eventually. Right. I feel like when you do weird stuff like that, like everybody in the pair has to be in agreement as to what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Yeah, because it ain't gonna, like when it starts like that. I mean, unless everybody knows exactly what to do and how they're going to do it, it ain't going to get any better.
Not going to happen. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's just insane that they're just using them like a guinea pig to just like, here you go.
So we'll see how this turns out. Next episode, you guys are I'm probably editing this now with it on TV, but we'll know the results next podcast. So
yeah, we'll come back to it and see.
We'll come back, see what happens.
See what the pattern number 3 ended up doing.
Yeah.
Probably the highest scoring pattern of the tournament.
Right.
And we'll be like, oh, well, we didn't know what we were talking about.
So it's all speculation, you know. But you had a question about tournaments themselves, right? Like what?
Yeah. Well, so you've been, the whole idea of the question came from you, actually. And
okay.
You've been going all over the place this year so far, bowling tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to get into what draws somebody to bowl a tournament. And not like from a competitive side, but like, is it the prize fund that makes you want to bowl the tournament? Is it the prestige of the tournament that makes you want to bowl it? Is it the entry fee cost that makes you want to bowl it? Is it the format that makes you want to bowl a tournament? Like, what is it that drives you to want to bowl a tournament? Which I think for everybody out there, let me know what you guys, what makes you want to bowl a tournament.
Right.
Let us know in the comments, and then we'll take a look at them and read them and see what you guys think.
Yeah.
It's just something I'm curious about. I want to know what people's consensus on that is.
So start off, hey, I just wanted to catch a plane or bowl something out of state every month. Said most competitive. So this last one was a debate by, I'm going to Denver, so I'm probably already bowling, or I have bowled already. So I'm going to Denver this weekend. It was either Denver or Washington, Seattle. So one, which didn't have his flight time. I'm going out of the country at the end of the month, so I didn't want to fly across the country, then come back, and then go right back on that side to leave the country. So it was like, I want a quick 2-hour or less flight. So I picked Denver. Then there was a couple tournaments in Denver I had to deal with because it was like, okay, it's recommendation because I don't know anybody there or I don't know where everybody's from. So it was just like, okay, where are you guys bowling? Who's going to be pretty much with me is the chance to run into the most people, I guess. The This tournament's a little bit different. It's on Sunday, 8 games, this will be a longer format than I've bowled because usually it's been 3 games and get out type of thing. I like shorter formats sometimes, like that 3 to 5 game range. 8 a little bit much, and then cut and match play. So it's been all over. This one's 150. The Loveland Masters. It's like 150 entry fee, but it's a full on cut and then match play, top 5, I guess that whole thing. But I guess it just depends on the city. Locally, is just more of I want to do less. If I'm home, I just want to bowl and go home. The most side action, side pots, maybe some brackets.
Right.
Yeah, to where it's like I don't care about the entry because you're in it for the other stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess my side of it is I take into account a lot of different things when I'm looking at bowling a tournament. Majority of it, I mean, it really comes down to I just want to bowl everything. But when it comes to big tournaments, for me, big tournaments, when the entry fee is higher, that's when I really start to take into account, like, okay, if the entry fee is, $300, almost $300.
Right.
Well, how much is first?
I need to make like $10,000 to do that.
Right. So $10,000 for first, right? So I'm just going to throw this out there because it's the next big tournament I'm bowling, Cactus Classic. It's in Sun City, Arizona in a couple weeks. Actually, not this weekend, but next weekend, I'm pretty sure. $275 entry fee.
Right.
It is $10,000 for first place.
Right.
It is the top 2 players from each squad will qualify for Sunday finals. The top 2 players from each squad will be seeded 1 through 8 and receive a 1-round bye.
Okay.
The top 14 overall players that were not top 2 on their squad will be seeds 9 through 22.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what squad you are in,
right,
as long as you're, in the top 14 that were not first or second from your qualifying squad.
Okay.
And then they take the top 2 from the Desperado squad to complete a 24-person bracket finals.
So even before you even get to format, what's the regional? How much is a regional?
If you're not a member, it's $310.
What's first place? 3,500, 3,000, maybe 3,000.
Half that. It's like I think it was $1,700 for the one that was out here in Arizona. It was I'm pretty sure it's $1,700.
That's a major factor.
Yeah.
$60. I'm from LA, so $100 to get you at least $5,000. Like, man, I'm not putting up 200 to win 1,500.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Sorry.
It's ridiculous. When they put 300 to win not even 2,000.
Yeah. And my thing is cuts. If I make a cut at anything, I want to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't like TNBA. Years ago, I bowled. It's like, they have you bowl, take half the field, but then you're done for the day. Then you come back tomorrow. If I'm coming back tomorrow for anything, I need a check.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to pay for an extra room.
Yeah.
To come back to hope to bowl good enough to make another cut.
Yeah.
Any cut should be paid, and I kind of look at it like that. Either all or nothing, or I'll bowl better next time.
Yeah. Well, there was a tournament I bowled a few years ago that I drove. It was out of state.
Yeah.
And I drove and bowled it, and they were having an issue with the brackets for qualifying. Qualifying was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we're having an issue. We're just going to rerun the brackets. We'll pay them out tomorrow. Well, how can if I didn't? It was a single squad tournament. If I'm not making the finals, I'm not coming back. Why would I pay for another night of a hotel room just to come and pick up my 10? Yeah. What if I bowled terrible because I didn't make qualifying, right? So I get my $10 back in brackets. Yeah. Why would I spend another $150 on a hotel room to come back tomorrow for my $10?
I mean, the Motel 6 is at least $120. So
yeah, It's just, it was like,
make sense.
Everybody just kind of looked at him and they're like, no, you need to rerun them now.
Yeah.
And we ended up waiting like 2 hours to get the brackets paid out because they had to rerun all the brackets because it didn't. And I was just like, why would you even say that you're going to run it, like pay them out tomorrow? It didn't make any sense to me. But they paid them out. We just had to wait.
Yeah, don't string me along because that a false, I would just be done. Like, just get it over with.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So.
Or just refund the brackets.
Refund, yeah.
I don't know. Just don't make me stay till tomorrow.
Payout is like payout to prize fund, number one. If I'm just doing it, I'm just doing it to see the country. It's like, okay, where haven't I been, and let me bowl something. So I'm not really too hung up because it's not, bowling isn't the primary reason,
right.
But it is a valid reason. So, Utah Open was like one of the major top major ones where it's like
prestige when that comes into.
Yeah, and I think this one another Masters type of format that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I start to look at all that kind of stuff. Like I said, the Cactus Classic, it's $275 entry fee, and but it's $10,000 to win. And
that's worth the shot.
Right. For $275, you can win $10,000, which is almost 40 times your entry fee.
But that's like PBA. You bowl 500, and I mean they were what 15, right? 10, 15,000.
Yeah.
What are the
20,000? I think.
Yeah. What does PBA 50 pay an entry? So they're winning what?
No idea on that one.
They're doing it for like 557, 7,500 or something like that. So I like to know what their entry fees are. And
so if you bowl PBA 50 Tour, let us know.
It's like for what?
Yeah. I think with that side of things, there's just a lot of hands. There's, I guess as it was too many cooks in the kitchen, too many hands in the pot. I don't know how they say that, but it just when you get to a point where you got to pay so many people to keep the lights on,
right?
You just can't pay the bowlers as much as they should be paying.
Right.
I don't know what the actual cause is on that, but it gets that way with a lot of things in life where a lot of like corporations get that way where they get a little too big and then you get too much
big for your own good.
Too much corporate structure and you got to pay too many people off the backs of too little people and then the little people don't get paid much and then you have problems. But it's just like I said, for me, like local tournaments, I bowl pretty much everything. I don't really care about much. I mean, if they're like,
keeps you sharp.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously going to look at the entry fee, and if they're like, oh, it's $125 entry fee, and you're going to win, $200, I'm probably not going to go bowl that. But I will shout out John Verbal runs some really good tournaments out here. The SBT tournaments, they're usually right around between, for one of his Saturday tournaments, he runs one-day tournaments that are about between $100 and $120 to enter. Right. And they pay out a minimum of $2,500.
Oh, nice.
And then
tournament length.
Yeah, it's done in one day.
Love that.
If it's $125, you win $2,500. It's done in the same day.
Done in a day, we good.
And then he runs some more major tournaments where it's $140, $150 enter, but they pay $5,000 to $8,000 for first.
Okay.
And then it sounds like he's got one coming back next year at Morongo that could be closer to 10,000, hopefully closer to 10,000 for first.
Didn't they use B3 a few years ago, like for their finals?
That was the Primal Bowling events.
Oh, okay.
It was so they have a points race that they do for the Primal Monday Night Showdowns, which is like a King of the Hill kind of a style tournament. And yeah, so the end of the year deal is the top X amount of bowlers in points had to go and bowl, and they bowled at B3. Yeah.
I remember seeing some footage on that.
Yeah,
because I wanted to go that weekend. It's we got a tournament in here. I'm like, what?
Which is not something you'll hardly ever hear at B3.
Right.
That was probably the first tournament they ever had there of any sort.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're not bowling Monday nights, so you should go check that out.
I am.
It's on a house shot, so stack them and whack them
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about something that I've been away from since I only have 2 balls that I've been throwing the last 2 years. So what is out on the market? What types of cores and covers? Like what are these manufacturers doing? I can't really talk because I haven't thrown it. Not really checking for them, but
yeah.
what's going on in bowling world outside of what I got going on?
Yeah. So bring this up because I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about because I feel like the ball manufacturers are really good at marketing bowling balls a certain way and cores and cover types specifically in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And it's very misleading to the general public, I feel, in a way that could be detrimental to the bowler.
Okay.
You see a lot of, let's start with cores.
Okay.
First off, how they market cores. Almost everybody thinks, well, there's 2 types of cores. It's either asymmetric or it's symmetric. And there's truth to that.
Nothing's symmetric when you drill it.
Well, that's also true.
Yeah.
But yes, there's asymmetric cores and there's symmetric cores. What people fail to realize, I believe, is you can have a very big asymmetric core.
Yeah.
And you can have a small asymmetric core.
Yeah.
You can have a very big symmetric core.
Yeah.
A very small symmetric core.
Yeah.
What people fail to realize is a big symmetric core is still a bigger core than a small asymmetric core.
Yeah.
But people get it in this belief that, well, it's an asymmetric ball. It should be super strong. It should come off the spot really hard. You know, a lot of people, I think, tend to think, oh, asymmetric, it's a little bit more of a hook stop kind of a motion. It hooks and then it kind of stops. Not as continuous as a symmetric core.
Right.
And that can be true when you compare a big asymmetric core to a big symmetric.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's misleading when they say, oh, it's a new asymmetric solid. Case in point is the Storm Ion Pro solid.
Okay.
Asymmetric solid is probably one of the cleanest and sharpest bowling balls in my bag.
Okay.
It is, the core is not very big. It's not a very big asymmetric core. It's mid 030s for the differential, low intermediate differential, and it's a polished solid cover out of the box.
Okay.
Obviously, you can change that, but I feel like a lot of people would see that and see how it's marketed and say, oh, it's an asymmetric solid.
Right.
This should be the biggest ball in my bag.
Yeah. No,
When in reality, that ball is probably middle of my bag, if not a hair under middle of my bag.
Right.
It's maybe not under middle, but probably right around the middle of my bag, maybe just a touch higher than middle, but it's pretty much right in the middle of my bag. And it's very continuous, very sharp down lane, where you compare that to, say, the logo here, which is an asymmetric pearl.
Yeah.
The logo hooks earlier than the Ion Pro Solid does.
Okay.
Is probably not, I would say probably just as sharp off the spot, but not as continuous. But people would see the two and say, well, we have a asymmetric pearl and an asymmetric solid. The asymmetric solid is going to be earlier. It's going to be rollier. It's not as, it's going to be the big ball in my bag. Where in reality, that ball out of box acts way more like a big asymmetric solid than the asymmetric solid does. So it's just one of those things where what I urge people is, just because the manufacturer says the ball does this, does not mean the ball does this.
Exactly.
You need to throw it for yourself and figure out where it sits in your own bag. I think a lot of people, I just hear a lot of talk when I'm at tournaments and I'm at leagues. Oh, well, I switched into my symmetric pearl. Well, yeah, you switched into like a Zen, which is a very strong symmetric pearl. It's got a pretty big core in it for, or like a phase 2 pearl.
Right.
Say, like, it's got a big core in that thing. Even though it's a symmetric pearl, it's still got a really big core in it. Where you can go. Some of these asymmetric balls that manufacturers have been coming out with have a much smaller core, even though they're asymmetric.
Right.
Sometimes, for me lately, I've been loving the asymmetric cores that have a very small amount of asymmetry to them. Gremlin Tour X has
just
been really
enough
good.
above.
Just a little. They just put a little,
a
little thing on the side of the core, just to give it that little extra. The Gremlin Tour X has been really good for me.
Okay.
The Rotogrip Tour Dynamics has been good for me for like 3 years. I think 3 years at this point, 4 years, something like that.
Right.
The Ion Pro and the Ion Pro Solid have been really good. I know a lot of people that love their Envy Tour.
Yeah.
The Hammer Effect Tour, like all those balls have pretty small asymmetric cores in them. And I know that Mo Pinnell, before he passed, had talked about with the new rules in 2019. It's not really new anymore. It's 7-year-old rules at this point. He had talked about how he said symmetric balls in the future are basically going to serve no purpose,
right?
Because they're not going to do, anything because we can't put weight holes in them. And we're going to start seeing more asymmetric balls that are going to come out. And those asymmetric balls are going to do what our symmetric balls with weight holes do. And that's exactly, I think he is 100% correct when he said that.
Right.
Because what we're seeing is these asymmetric balls that are, let's use a small asymmetric.
Go-to.
Yeah. Small asymmetric. Or like,
keep it asymmetric, but...
Oh, another one is the Motive, the Black Venom.
Okay.
That's another one that's very similar to that, which is also a solid that was shinier.
I threw that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another one of those that have a small asymmetric core in them.
Okay.
With a shinier, solid cover stock on them. Very, like, benchmarky kind of a shape.
Yeah.
Not very, like, you think, asymmetric solid, and people are thinking, like, Jackal Ambush type type of asymmetric solid. And that's not at all what it was.
Right.
That ball, I think they're still making it, or they just discontinued it not that long ago. But tons of people throw that ball. I still see people throwing that ball. That ball's. I had one. I actually gave it to a teammate of mine because he wanted something, in that sort of a range in his bag that he didn't have. It was a gap he needed filled. I have 20 some odd balls.
20 balls, yeah.
And I'm like, you can just have this one. I don't really throw it that much.
Yeah.
So here, you take it, and he got it, and now he's throwing it. But it's just that thing where I feel like just don't be led astray by the ball manufacturers when they tell you, like when the Equinox Solid came out.
Okay.
They said, for a solid asymmetric ball, it's cleaner through the front, it's sharper down lane. Well, they're comparing it to like an Ion Max, which is like super rolly, early.
Right.
It still has a lot of core, so it does still come off the spot. Well, yeah, it's going to be cleaner and sharper than that because it's not as strong as that ball.
Right.
But it's still going to be, they're literally telling you that it's going to be a cleaner and sharper ball, but they're comparing it to a ball that's early and rolly. Well, yeah, it's going to be cleaner and sharper than that one.
Just
but
in comparison.
Yeah, but it's still going to be stronger than all the other stuff in your bags, where I think the general public can be misled on some of that stuff. So,
and I'm going to just tell you what it is, like what I see out of something. Spoiler, I'm working. I'm getting stuff together for the next release. It's early, but I'm working on it. Yeah. So I'm thinking just numbers wise, core's more like a slimmer core. So I think we're getting more length than logo, but just more skid snappy. So it's gonna be just as strong if that's a thing, but it's gonna come more off of the spot, but be just as strong, if that makes sense. So not like weak hockey stick. I'm talking like fifth arrow hockey stick.
So I guess what you're saying is same amount of board coverage.
Yes.
But in a weaker ball. Weaker as in cleaner and sharper.
Yes.
Same amount of board coverage.
It may
cleaner and sharper. More responsive.
Yeah, more responsive.
Let's say that. More responsive.
Yes.
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 A little less in the front part of the lane, a little bit more in the back end. Which is crazy because that ball is a lot. So,
but for me, like we both doubles together, you saw the 5.5-inch pin out of box.
Yes.
It stayed in it quite a long time, but once it starts that flat tinning, or 10 pinning, change down to the 5-inch with the power edge on it, move 3 right, and I'm back in it. So then it's like after that, then it's like, what do I have? I need something to get even further down lane, but I still need that. So out of box, you know, depending on how it comes, you know, you may leave it out of box to get the length, or even make it even longer and snappier with the power edge. So I'm just excited to get some demos going to see. You know.
Yeah, and like 80% of your ball motion is going to come from your cover and your surface.
Yeah.
And then you have about 10% of your ball motion is going to come from layout.
Yeah.
And, you know, 10% is going to come from, you know, whatever other little factors, the red, you know, that go into it. 80% of ball motion coming from the cover and the surface is huge. So the cover is probably the most important thing. Right. The core and the layout, like I said, core and layout is a little less important than the cover is. The cover is the biggest thing. So you get a good cover. That's where it all starts. That's 80% of the work's done if you got a good cover. So,
but yeah, just excited to see what happens, and all that. solid symmetrical. You guys already knew that. So just putting the arsenal together, because it's like Revelated. I think it was just trying to throw it on fresh. It looked like that, but once it gets, you know, game 5, 6, it's a legit. You could throw it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so should you throw it on fresh? No. Can you? Sure, get way right, but
there's got to be friction.
Yeah. So to be able to pull out a benchmark type ball that late in the block, that's huge. It's not plastic, not the cuss word,
right?
Your thing, but I think I'm putting together a nice roster of stuff that fits my game, and everything for me. I don't care, nothing in the front part of the lane. I just need it off the back. Where am I at off the back? That's it. And whatever can give me more space for lane play, where everyone has to chase it left and I can scoot back right, you know, that's kind of...
That's where the Revelated comes in. Yeah. So you get to scoot back to the right with the Revelated. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went and practice with them. Like, man, I've been sleeping on it because I've been in logos so much, and I threw that. I'm like, man, I could just stay in that, and you know, so
it's definitely a much smoother ball motion out of the Revelated than it is out of the logo.
Yeah,
when you have defined friction, the Revelated, you can definitely use that friction.
Right.
Logo is a lot stronger. When you see volume, you see some oil. Logo is going to help a ton. But yeah, something a little less than the logo, I feel is going to be a lot more usable for a lot more people. And it's something that you'll still be able to use a lot.
Right.
But it's something that a lot more people will be able to use.
Because I have to look at it from the sense of, like you said, cover, core, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I couldn't throw a lot of the stuff that was coming out. So while this may go 65 feet for everyone else, this channel started from, hey, I can't throw this. Look, you know, I became the high rev test dummy. So it's still that community. You know, it got bigger than I ever expected.
Right.
But the original core was, hey, I can't throw 8 out of the 10 balls that are coming that I'm reviewing.
Right.
So it's like, what can you throw? You know, like the one-handed high rev, like an EJ Tackett, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't have a Venom Shock or the Thrills, those type of balls, what could he throw on motive, you know? Yeah. I got that Jackal Ambush because I saw he posted one like clip on Instagram. Oh, okay, if EJ could throw it, I could throw it. Yeah, no. He must have put out the
like Badger or something.
But that's what it is. And so it's like I have to serve the one hand high rev because they're left on an island. Because where is the balls for those people?
Yeah, well,
Two-handed, hey, this ball's for two-handed people. Drill here, drill that. Because everything's two-handed. Well, two-handed doesn't mean more revs than this guy with one hand, you know?
Right. I feel like the one-hand high rev guys just kind of naturally have slightly lower ball speed. Like the majority of them have a slightly lower ball speed than the high rev two-handers.
Okay.
It seems like they just generate more ball speed because they are able to use their legs so much.
Right.
And they move so fast to the line that they generate a lot of speed with their legs.
Right.
Or the one-handed guys, with the timing and everything, like the two-handed stuff, the backswing is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So the timing has to be a little bit quicker because the backswing's not as long. The backswing doesn't take you as long as to go here down here. It's to here to here.
Right.
So the feet got to be a little bit quicker. So I feel like the one-handed guys are just a little bit slower on the ball. Majority of them. I'm not saying every one of them. Like we've all seen Kevin McCune, absolutely, 22 miles an hour, and we've seen you. Like there are guys like that, but there's a select few of them. But the majority of the high rev rate one-handers, I guess I'd put myself in that category. I'm about 480 RPM rev rate.
Right.
But if I'm trying, I'm throwing at 18 miles an hour. That's if I'm trying. Like I'm about 16, 17, I would say 16 is my sweet spot. If I'm throwing at about 16 and a half, that's right where I want to be with a 480 something RPM rev rate. So I'm not quite 500, but if I get after it, I'm over, but I don't do that all the time. I'd rather just be in my sweet. I'm usually in my sweet spot, and if I have to get after it, it's just another trick I can pull out of the bag to get after it more, make it hook more.
But that right there, so it's like we start off bowling not catering to them because we're an anomaly. Now two-handed is taking over, and now it's like, oh well, two-handed is the thing, so now you're still an anomaly.
Right.
So we're still not getting any help from golf manufacturers, and everything we like is discontinued.
Yeah. It's true.
So I gotta be that guy. So it's like that's what I say. It's for I tell you what it's for. Do not get it. It's not. I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Right.
Just because I want the right people to get the ball that can benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think something just below the logo would be perfect in the lineup that you have right now.
Right.
I think something that's still gonna see it. I mean, not that you want it to, but something that's still going to see it a little bit in the mid lane. It's not just going to blow through the mid lane.
Right.
It's still going to start to slow down in the mid lane a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not going to see the heads. No. Not like the ambush saw the heads and then saw the left go.
No, I would never want that.
Right. We don't want that.
Need that.
We don't need it to see it in the heads per se, but we still want to see it in the mid lane.
Yeah.
We want to see the ball, the course start to turn over in the mid lane, and then when it sees the friction, it's in a spot that it can just absolutely bounce off it. So when this starts to roll out on you, where as you get left, you start to flat 10. You start to see those 10 pins or the 7 pins.
Take 2 more left.
You have a ball that you can go, oh, well, I know this one's gonna come off it. I look at my stuff, and I was coached this way as don't see your stuff as necessarily this ball's stronger, this ball's weaker. We still use that terminology, but I look at all my stuff as how responsive, like how quick is this, like how quick is the response to friction?
It's the natural progression of, hey, if I know there's a dry spot right there, I just need a ball to get to there.
Right.
At a certain point,
Yeah, and my like I said, my bag is always how quick does this ball respond to friction?
Right.
If it sees friction and just goes dead left as soon as it sees it, okay, that I would classify that as lower in my bag. If I have a ball that I throw and it sees friction and it's slower off the friction, I would say that's probably a stronger ball in my bag. That's going to be towards the top of my bag. Because when it sees the friction, it doesn't just immediately change direction. It sees the friction and kind of blends it out.
Right.
And it's a little bit smoother. That's towards the top of my bag. That's where I differ from how the marketing of the ball manufacturers, how they say things. Because it's not how I see it in my head. It's not how I was, like I said, I was coached how to see it that way. And it's helped my game a lot to see it that way. How quick does this ball respond to friction?
Right.
when I throw this ball and then I throw this ball in the same spot next to it, does it respond more?
Yeah.
Or does it respond less? Does it, it's a different way to look at it. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that. I'm just saying keep it in the back of your mind the next time you go and you're trying out your new ball and comparing it to other stuff. That to me is more than anything. You need to know what your bowling balls do compared to each other.
Right.
You have to know how much more this ball is and that ball is and this ball and that ball.
And that's
there's got to be a flow chart.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's the reason I probably won't wait another year because every release has been later in the year. So it's been, like this last season, Revelated was the first 4 or 5 months of it. Then I got another made logo. Then I finished the league off. So I want to see a whole season of a 3-ball bag to see how good I can and can't be. But that's funny you say that flow chart. How much AI slop have you seen with these balls? The motive, this is that. You see any of those charts on social media?
I've seen only a few of them.
I don't throw it. I haven't thrown anything in 2 years, but it just irritates me because I just know that it's wrong.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where what does AI really know about bowling? I'm sure it knows a decent amount, but does it really know your game? No. Oh. It doesn't know your equipment.
It's not making up information. It's just taking information that's across the internet.
Right. So here's the biggest thing. Like I said, core and layout. Layout is 10% of ball motion. Core is 10% of ball motion. Cover and surface is 80% of ball motion. What is ball motion? Ball motion is what the ball does in 60 feet of it touching a lane. 60 feet. What's 10% of 60? That's 6 feet. So your layout, the layout you choose for your ball can change where that ball hooks 6 feet.
6 feet, yeah.
6 feet earlier, 6 feet later.
Right.
I guess if you said in the middle, it would be 3 feet later, 3 feet earlier.
Right.
But it's still 6 feet of difference on how you lay a ball out. It can affect 6 feet. The core will affect approximately 6 feet of what the ball does. So if you have a strong core and a strong layout, the ball might hook 12 feet earlier than if you had a weaker core with a weaker layout.
Right.
And that ball may hook 12 feet further down lane, even if it has the same exact cover and surface. It will hook 12 feet later with a slightly different core and a different layout. It's 12 feet, which on a lane is a lot. That's a big area.
And you add my projection, which is 15 feet plus that 12 feet. Now you're at 27
That's
feet
almost half the lane
before the ball even knows what to do.
Right, and that's just based on you as a bowler and then the cover and the layout.
Yeah.
So you as a bowler with the cover and the layout,
I need everything in the back.
So you're 80. So the 80% that the cover and the surface is determining is basically all that AI can use.
Yeah.
Is that 80? What's the cover and the surface that this ball comes with? We can say it's in this spot. This compares to this.
Yeah.
When in reality, like you said, you have 15 feet of projection and then 10% of core, 10% of layout. Well, I guess we could say that maybe it has a little bit of core in there, the AI stuff does.
Yeah.
But that's still 10% is still 6 feet different. Add that onto your 15 feet of projection. Now you have, 21 feet. That's a third of the lane.
Right.
A third of the lane. So basically what I'm saying, the closest AI is going to get is 66% correct.
Right.
If it's as correct as it can be, the closest it's going to be for you as a bowler is 66% correct.
Do your own studying.
You have to do your own research.
Watch the lane. Read what your ball is doing. Like lane graphs. People give me, I saw something that said, someone didn't bowl well and say, I thought it was going to be on a house shot, like a regular house shot. House shot doesn't mean easy. House shot has
it's what the house puts out.
Yeah. That's it.
If this house puts out a 5-to-1 pattern as their house shot, and
that's the house shot.
Yeah. And this house puts out
US Open.
Yeah, US Open pattern, 1-to-1 pattern, and this house puts out a 15-to-1 pattern as their house shot. House shot, I guess you could say a typical house shot.
Right.
typical house shot and our house shot are not the same thing.
I don't drink, but I'd assume the house beer or that what like the different drafts of beer is different.
Yeah,
depending on where it's the same backyard beer, but it's totally different, right?
Yeah, because if you go to a brewery, they would say like this is our house beer, like a house cocktail, right?
Yeah.
It's a cocktail that we make.
Yeah.
But it's not say they have a house vodka cocktail.
Yeah.
Well, your house vodka cocktail here is probably not the same as like what you would see as a typical house vodka cocktail somewhere else, or like majority plate. Like they could have some crazy thing that's that's our house vodka cocktail. It's just totally different.
If every center, and the only reason it makes somewhat sense is like the corporations, because it's like the same machine, the same people who don't care, the same oil pattern. The memo goes out here, do this to the lanes. That type of thing. If bowling was never corporate, there would never be juniors, right? Bowl travel league. Everything's on house shot. But week to week, it was different because the independent centers put out whatever was
their house shot.
Right. My travel average was higher than my morning at league average was.
Yeah.
So how's my average this higher than the place I bowl at every single week? How was the traveling average higher if all house shots are supposedly the same? Or
well, that's the weird part because some typical house shots are 39 feet.
Right.
Some are 45 feet. Yeah. That's 6 feet difference right there.
Yeah.
Just in your typical house shot.
Yeah.
People get so caught up in that. And I think what they need to realize is that it's not just because it's a house shot doesn't mean it's going to be the same as this place or the same as that. It just doesn't mean that it's going to be just as easy. I mean, take into center characteristics into consideration.
Which is the go back to my Rotogrip gym video. Everyone killed me in that video because, it's house. But that AMF Mesa, the guy oiled, he cared. He's like, I know these are high friction lanes. I said, what do you have out here? He said, 44 feet, like 32 mils.
Okay.
That's quite a bit of oil, right?
Yeah. That 32 mils that's good volume. 44 feet is pretty good length.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh no, you bowled on I'm like, I will never see this much oil anywhere else, you know?
Right.
And the ball, I forgot why I didn't like it, but compared to the Proton and the Supernova was it Supernova?
It's probably Supernova, yeah.
Yeah. It just blah. Oh, it's rolling out. Well, I don't know.
Well, it was rolling out because it's the strongest ball that they had ever made at that time.
Yeah.
The cover was super strong. The core was super strong. It's gonna hook and it's gonna roll. It's gonna roll out.
Yeah.
And that's
like unusable. I can't use this anywhere. I'd never be able to use this.
Right. And that's another thing that goes back to what we were saying before, where the cover and the core can get a little misleading. Where you go, well, I have this cover and this core is super strong. Yep. This ball should be the biggest hooking ball in my bag, and you throw it. Oh man, that ball didn't hook that much. Well, yeah, because it hooked at 20 feet and rolled out. But you didn't realize it. And then you throw your Tropical Breeze, and it sees nothing in the front part of the lane and retains all its energy. It sees the friction down lane and bounces down lane. And people get this idea in there, well, my Tropical Breeze hooks more than my Gem does.
Yeah.
Well, it's not true. Your Tropical Breeze hooks more down lane than your Gem does. It doesn't see anything in the front part of the lane. And that's where, if you've ever heard a pro say, we play the lanes front to back.
Yeah.
Amateurs play the lanes left to right. That's where they're talking about. The Gem hooked at 20 feet. Your Tropical Breeze didn't hook until 44 feet when it got off the end of the pattern. That's the front to back.
Yeah.
The ball hooked at 20 feet is closer to the front of the lane. And that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. And even super full circle, I wouldn't compare those balls if it wasn't, hey, we're discontinuing this ball. This is taking its place.
Right.
So now we're 3 generations down from the Proton Physics discontinued, the Supernovas discontinued. This is taking its place.
Right. And it was
look what I got.
It was so much stronger than both of those balls. Yes. And that was where the biggest issue was. It was like you went from the Proton and the Supernova, which in today's day and age would be like probably slightly less than in that lineup, an Equinox Solid.
Right.
Or right around maybe. I would probably say it's still less than an Equinox Solid. Yeah. And now you have this ball that's like probably rivals what the Ion Max is. It's just almost just as strong as like the Ion Max in that lineup. And that's such a big jump. Yeah. It's like 2 or 3 balls in your bag different.
That's just too much technology. So once again, proton, bang, I can't. So do I not have a solid ASIM in my bag anymore? Because discontinue here, take this or take it or leave it.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do I do? That was the the vehemence in like my ball reviews. Like it was literally so irritating. It wasn't that, oh yeah, they sent me a ball. No, I bought these balls, right?
Right.
So it was like, okay, I would have been still throwing a proton physics to this day if I can have one,
Right.
I would still be throwing that.
Right.
So it's like the discontinued stuff, then we have to experiment. It'll be another 4 or 5 balls before we can find something that we can throw. Then it's right back up, discontinued, try again. So that just goes back to the high rev. So alienated. So it's just always some type of alienation. And then they play around with the pearls, like the ASIM pearls, symmetric pearls, to try to make them do, like, no, we don't. It's like, leave stuff alone. And always laugh at these. I see a lot of videos, oh, can this ball compared to the new technology, can it withstand or can it hold up? But you know what they do? Every video I've seen, no one's ever drilled a brand new, I don't know, X Factor Deuce, the original or something like that. I bought this on eBay. It's probably got like 9,000 games on it and it's 20 years old. Let's compare it to the new release X Factor or whatever. Yeah. That makes zero sense. If you give me a brand new ball from 2003 or something, then that's a better comparison. But you can't compare a 20-year-old something with 9,000 games on it to something that just left the factory line. That irritates me. I'm sorry. Pisses me off.
Well, and not only that, but I do believe that the technology has gotten to the point where the balls are way stronger than they used to be.
Right. But it's like a cancellation, though. But it's
because they keep putting more oil out.
Right.
Oh, these balls are super strong. Let's put some more oil out. These balls get stronger. Let's put even more oil out, and then these balls get even stronger.
Did the houses get that memo?
Well, no. What would happen if we just went back to like 20 mils of oil? You ain't ever going to see those balls out on the lane. I'm throwing a hustle, guaranteed.
You don't see them on tour.
Yeah. Like why? Like
you see the balls that everyone I had this tucked away in the garage, my stash. If balls from the 20, 15 years ago were so bad, why do pros hoard them and bring them out on today's conditions if it's not going to work?
But they can't do it on tour anymore. It's only the USB-C tournaments because you can't throw a ball that's more than 2 years old.
Exactly.
So
stupid.
Which is why, I don't understand. I guess probably why we keep seeing this trend of stronger balls, more oil, stronger balls, more oil.
Yeah.
They put this, what I think is kind of an asinine rule of has to be within the last 2 years or you can't throw it.
Right.
Well, I get that where they were trying to combat the urethane thing with urethane gets softer as it gets older and with use it gets softer and softer. Well, but why, if you guys would just put a little less oil out, you wouldn't have to make these new balls that are hook in a box.
Right.
And you could start fine tuning and tweaking these weaker balls and make something really good in a lower end ball that more people could probably buy because they could probably afford it. They can afford the $279.95 price tag before drilling MSRP of a brand new ball with the most cutting edge, highest oil absorbing technology in it. Like
that they found out the next month after the last one came out. Oh, wait.
This one's even better.
We forgot about this one.
Yeah.
But buy this one, but wait for the next, So
we paid this guy R&D for the last 30 days to develop this, and it kind of sucks, but we're going to do it anyway because we already paid him. So here you go.
So someone asked me, it was like, someone that didn't bowl was like, what makes your balls different? And I was like, that's a really good question. Okay. So my thing is, if you want the old reaction, reliability, if you can cover somewhat, be in the same area, be in the same ballpark as anything else, but is more reliable and is more predictable with that same motion and that old school feel, because you don't have to move a lot with this stuff, but it covers the same amount of boards. I went from moving 5 boards every other frame to, okay, I'll move 2. Game and a half. Okay, I'll move another 2. Who wants to, I mean, I made a career out of it, but who wants to loft the gutter cap game 2, game 3? Nobody.
I've done it.
I don't like it. Yeah, because, believe it or not, I am aware of people around me, but it's like I got to do what I got to do, but
right.
I can see how it's like, oh, this guy. It's like, no, I'm really, I'm forced to do this. I'm sorry. So I haven't lofted in a couple years now,
right.
You
don't have to.
I don't have to.
Right.
But it's still a bag, tool in my bag.
Right.
So
it's always good to have it in the toolbox.
Yeah.
The more tools in the toolbox, the more stuff you can fix.
Exactly.
More problems you can solve.
So sorry about my little rant there. I mean, I just took you back to a place. But check out everything else. Check out the other episodes. And the audio version is somewhere. Maybe try Apple Podcasts. I started doing that.
Okay.
I got to figure that out. But
we'll try getting it on some platforms.
Yeah.
I'm sure. See what we can do.
Merch, hihbowling.com. Check that out. And be ready for another. We're going to probably shoot for fall release.
Start a league season.
Start a league, September, October-ish. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Peace.